And we are back, and we just finished watching 2006's The Host, rated R, with a runtime of 2 hours. We saw this on the Showtime Anytime app.
That's right.
This is from director Bong Joon Ho, with writing credits to Bong Joon Ho, Won-jun Ha, and Chul-hyun Baek. I think I said that correctly, but if I didn't, my apologies. This is the story of what happens when carelessness leads to mutations in a river.
Yeah.
And
fat bald idiot, so dumb.
And a monster emerges from the Han River and begins attacking people. And we focus on
focuses
the Park
on a
family.
on a specific family.
Yes, I mean,
that bald guy was dumb. He didn't even think about the consequences of his actions.
No.
Or how many. There was just dust on the outside of the bottles. They weren't actually dirty.
Yes.
That fat, ugly idiot. I hate him. I hate him.
Yeah, you can. He's representative of all the stupidness, bad decisions with short-sightedness that ultimately impact people in negative ways. When we open up the story, as Olive mentioned, someone makes the decision to dump chemicals.
Yeah, some neat freak army doctor
Jackass.
decides, these bottles have dust on them. I want you to dump them down into the sink. And his assistant's like, but that's not good. We have to dispose of it properly. And he's just like, just do what I say.
Right, basically.
And the guy does it, and it's not a lot.
It's a huge amount.
It's not a little amount. It's a huge amount of chemicals that they dump. And years later, it results in something.
Yes.
This great work by the special effects team.
Yes. Really well. I mean, this is 2006, but watching it in 2023, it still holds up.
It still holds up. I mean, you could see it's from its time, but it's good for its time.
I think it still holds up, though.
It still holds up. There are a couple of.
I'm not scrutinizing it, so I'm sitting back
I always
and enjoying.
I mean, I always look at that and like sort of compare it to what's available now and see the
differences.
The very, very minor nitpicky shortcomings of it, but it still looks amazing.
Yes, absolutely. You know, we talk about something like Jurassic Park, which still holds up. That movie is from the 90s, the 1990s. Yeah. So,
what do you guys think of the monster?
It was pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
I like watching older films and then laughing about how terrible everything looks, like in RoboCop, how awful everything looks. I know you guys love that movie.
How dare you?
And the special effects are garbage.
Whatever.
But in this one, it wasn't bad for... Like, it wasn't that long ago, but still, you could tell how much people have improved on stuff. But it's not like it didn't look terrible. It was pretty good.
It didn't look out of place,
yeah,
right?
That's what I'm searching. It didn't look out of place. It didn't look like completely horrible. It looked like it was in the scene.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, and it was in daylight too. So you can't do much to hide it.
Mistakes.
You know?
Yeah.
Usually when you have like a CG monster in daylight or any kind of special effect creature in daylight, you see the
shortcoming.
You see, it was clearly filmed on different film stock or different lighting was applied, but no, this they really took their time and did this thing right.
Work, yeah.
And it was such a strange design. It had like other fish like stuck into it.
Well, I think the whole thing was it was an amalgamation of what was living in the water, right? Because the legs on it weren't fish-like at all. It might have been frog. Yeah. So this creature was like an amalgamation of what the wildlife was in the Han River.
Yeah, like if everything mutated and somehow coagulated into
together,
this
right?
Monstrosity.
So I'm going to get around the table and get impressions. First of all, kids, thank you so much for giving this movie a shot. I know that sometimes it's hard to pay attention with things that are, I guess, maybe foreign or whatnot, but I think that the story at the core of this...
I don't know. These kids watch a ton of anime with subtitles, so it's...
Still. I mean, I
like watching regular shows with subtitles because then I get to see exactly what they're saying. And Dad's weird when he says he doesn't like subtitles.
Yeah. But I think just the idea that it's not a short film. It's a long film. It doesn't feel long. It doesn't feel long. It's based in a different culture. So from that vantage point, I'm saying thank you, kids, for giving this a shot. I've always wanted to watch this with you guys because you and I watched this in the theater and thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think the social commentary too here is really relevant even now, almost 20 years later. This movie is almost 20 years. Can you believe that?
Yeah, what was it?
2006.
2006, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
God damn.
God damn. Is right. I'm going to start with you, Olive G. What did you think of the creature?
I thought it was pretty good.
Did you ever feel bad for the creature?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, he was kind of menacing and scary, but at the same time, did you ever feel like maybe the creature was just acting out of wanting to survive?
I thought that's what all animals do.
Possibly, but in this case, he is the villain, sort of the story. And at any point, did you feel sympathy for him?
Strange question.
I mean,
why would anybody feel sympathy for the creature?
Because he didn't ask to be.
Nothing asks to exist, but it's doing its biological function, which is eat to survive.
Sure,
I mean, that's the purpose of the creature. The villain really of the story is the bureaucretty and whatnot that
but
that
is
puts
that
this family
apparent?
through. They're pretty pretty heavy with that. I mean,
maybe, to a
with the
younger
brothers'
audience.
commentary about I went to school, I can't even get a job, and
Fair
now
enough.
then there's the cover up with there's a virus and whatnot.
But for a younger audience, you're seeing a monster. So
right, but there's
your first thought that this monster is the villain in the story. They separated this child from its dad. And this family is now trying desperately to get the daughter back.
But there's differences in monsters that you have sympathy for and monsters or just basically animals. Like King Kong, you could have sympathy for. He's taken from his native land and brought over to be an amusement and exploited by people.
You don't.
This thing is not being exploited. This thing is just I could eat those things. I don't have to eat what's in the river. I could eat those things, those guys running around on the surface, and I'm just going to eat them. I'm not evil. I'm just hungry. So, and another thing, it wasn't like it was just like, it's not like Okja, where there's like this big beast that clearly is just going to be exploited for something. There's no exploitation of this creature. It's just there, and we're terrified of it.
I'm going to go back to my child and ask her the same question. Olive, did you have any sympathy for the creature at all?
Why should I?
No, you don't have to.
You don't have to. I'm just wondering if you ever at any point felt any sympathy for the creature. No. Okay.
The creature is just being a creature.
Creature is just being a creature. Right. So it doesn't really know any better.
Yeah.
And it came into existence kind of strangely because it's, again, this amalgamation of things that happened that forced maybe different types of wildlife in this river together. It fused it in a way that made it into this thing. So this creature is sort of running around almost like Frankenstein's monster, right? It was created and then sort of left to fend for itself. There's no other thing like it.
But it wasn't created on purpose.
It wasn't created on purpose, but it's still here, right? And it's still here from just poor choices being made without any
carelessness,
without any thought of what the repercussions of those actions were going to be. So in that sense, I felt sympathy for the monster towards the end, especially when, well, whatever. You know what? Gee, I'm going to ask you the same question. Did you ever feel any kind of sympathy for the creature in the film?
I knew you were going to ask this question, Yeah. During the film, I was like, I remember when Ma asked this one question during like our review of Alien or whatever. And I was like, she's definitely going to ask it here. And no, I didn't.
No.
Okay? Listen, this thing is doing what it wants to survive, and I get that, but it's killing people. So, yeah. And it would be, I wouldn't care unless they like made it so the creature isn't like the big bad. Dad's right. The big bad is like the system, government, whatever. But the way the film is shown with our protagonists being the Park family trying to get the daughter back, the monster is very much the force that's keeping her away. So it is shown that the monster is a villain. So no, I can't have sympathy for something that's getting in the way of the protagonists.
Okay, fair. That's great. That's great analysis of the story. Absolutely.
It's like, would you feel sympathy for the shark in Jaws?
To an extent, yeah.
No. Now you're just being argumentative.
No, I'm not.
There is no human way that anybody feels sympathy for the shark in Jaws.
The shark is going to shark, right?
Right.
And people were told to keep people out of the water, but the mayor decided, I don't want to lose on money.
But
so, again, the government making poor choices, I guess.
But it's not, the poor shark, he has to eat these people. No.
Listen, I started the day watching Philadelphia. My mindset is already ruined.
There's no sympathy for Jaws or the creature from The Hosts. It's the thing that eats people.
Terrible. Terrible.
That's just the way it is.
What did you think of, was his name Kangdu? No, Gangdu.
Gangdu.
What did you think of Gangdu?
I felt bad for him. He lost his daughter and he wanted her back, and that's all he wanted throughout the film.
Yeah. What about you, Olive G? What did you think of the dad? Not the grandpa, the dad. Gangdu. Any thoughts?
No.
No. Okay.
He was just being a good dad, I guess.
Being a good dad. Okay. Yeah. Although his sister and his brother didn't think too much of him. What did you think of the aunt?
I thought she was cool. She just had that one little flaw, but they all have their flaws. So I thought the aunt's character was cool, especially at the end.
Yeah.
Especially at the end.
Where she didn't waver?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the fastest time she shot at the end. Yeah, she just angled it for a little bit before letting it go.
Yeah. What did you think of the aunt, Olive G?
I thought she was cool.
Yeah. What did you think of the uncle?
I thought he was cool too. He fell off a bridge and then he got back up a little after to go save his niece. So I thought that was admirable. I thought that they were all good characters.
Yeah. Even with their flaws.
Even with their flaws, because they're human. So obviously, yeah.
And they're also family.
Exactly. So
and even though they might not like each other in the moment, they still have to pull together.
Exactly. They'll always work together for their common goal.
Exactly. Which was to get the niece back, or daughter in that case.
Yeah. And I thought it was hilarious how the uncle drop kicks.
Oh yeah, he's like on the floor.
They're all
and he does
mourning and screaming, and he's on a drop kick. You grabbed the wrong girl.
Yeah, they did not think that their brother was good at anything.
Yeah. What did you think of the grandfather or the father of the three?
I thought that he was a good character too. He
Yeah.
didn't have as much screen time as the rest, but when he was there, he wasn't useless. He was searching for her too.
But he was like the quintessential dad, right? He's telling his other children, please don't gang up on the brother.
Yeah.
You know, he used to be very smart or whatever. He's trying to relay the story and they all fall
tells
asleep.
a story and he's just like, he ends it with, and that's how smart he looked. So it's not even oh, your brother used to be a genius. It's people thought that he looked smart.
Yeah. They would ask him directions because he looked so smart. But he never actually says he was smart.
Yeah, yeah.
But I like the grandfather because he was basically like the glue. He was holding that family together and giving up pretty much everything to get them started on the journey to finding the daughter or the niece. So yeah, he was definitely the backbone of the family.
It doesn't matter that we're speaking to spoilers, does it? I mean, this movie is
almost 20 years old. Yeah, it's good. You should see it. Yeah, but we're probably not going to be giving up much or giving too much away. Even if you know a couple of spoilers, it's still a great movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Is this a movie? I mean, obviously. So this is your first time seeing it, Olive G. What did you ultimately think of the story?
I thought it was good.
Yeah. Did you find it exciting? Were you nervous? Did you feel bad for people? Were you in the moment?
I just thought it was good.
Okay.
It was a good story.
Was there any points where you were nervous or scared or really invested in what was going on? Any scenes that made you like, tense?
No. Okay. What about you, G? This is your first time watching the film. What did you think of the film?
I thought it was great. It
Yeah.
was 2 hours, but it flew by really fast, and I was interested in everything that was happening. It didn't drag at all, and I thought that when they all get split up, there wasn't in certain things the characters get split up, and in certain stories where that happens, I don't like some of their stories, but I thought that every bit was interesting.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite character?
Probably the daughter.
Yeah.
I don't want to butcher her name. I don't want to say it.
Haiseo?
Hyun Seo.
Hyung Seo, yeah.
Yeah. If we
Hong
butchered
Seo.
it, we apologize. But yeah.
But she was my favorite because she got taken, but she never gave up hope. She was always trying to escape and being strong, especially for another character that gets introduced later.
Yeah. Yes, because she then becomes a protector in a way, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Surrogate mom or big sister.
Yeah. Yeah, the scene towards the end when you see the two of them
Like clutching each other.
Yeah. was pretty impactful. I don't want to give spoilers. I feel like this is a movie that you should see. If you haven't seen it, you should go into it blindly because I think that the impact of the storytelling is more, you feel it more when you don't know what's happening. I know that when you and I went to see it in the theater, I was beside myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah. And it's interesting because at the very end, it's just a quiet film, right? Or the ending is very quiet as opposed to the rest of the story.
It seems like a nice, easy, or simple life that he gets there at the end where just a little shack just filled to the brim with snacks. It just seemed very nice. The little snowfall.
Everything was quiet.
Everything was peaceful and nice.
Although he still seemed like he was on guard.
Yes, well, I mean, let's be honest.
After living through something like that, you probably can't really relax.
Yeah, and living by the river.
Right.
And if it could happen once, why wouldn't it happen a lot?
Right. True.
So
you want to add anything else?
Not really. I mean,
there's not really much.
You could almost, if you want to go the controversial route, you could make a lot of parallels between the way they sort of talked about viruses and people freaking out about viruses and protests about treatments for viruses, especially if the government is involved and doling them out. You could definitely relate something that happened way before the whole epidemic that we went through. You definitely relate those two situations. Mm-hmm. Whether or not there is, I mean, I'm sure people will be like, "This is all bullshit." Remember that movie, The Host? Yeah. It was all told. The host told the truth. That's how it was supposed. That's how it's really going down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting how things that were in fiction became kind of reality, but not quite reality.
Or used as facts.
They're used as exactly. It's like that's a movie. It's not. It's not facts.
It's just the story.
Many a truth is said in jest. Whatever.
I think it's also interesting.
This is the sort of thing that radio hosts and podcasters rely on when they're like, "Hey, it makes you think. Think. Do your own research."
Yes.
If you really want to know the truth, there's this film by a Korean filmmaker. It's about a giant monster, but there's a virus stuff in there.
I think there's just I mean there's the writing is really smart. There's moments of levity, but then there's moments of tension. The story, kind of like what G said, it's a 2-hour film, but it doesn't feel like it. The pacing is amazing. The effects on it are fantastic. The performances are all just spot on, really well done.
Yeah.
All of them.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Even right down to the that little boy.
Yes, yes.
Everybody serves their purpose in the story perfectly. All the family members. It was nice how they each had well-defined personalities, and
they also
basically
have like
learning how to work with each other in spite of these obvious flaws that they all have, and the tragedy that they go through. It's really well. It's a great family drama.
Yeah. In addition to being
a monster movie, which is just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Great monster work. That creature was just bizarre looking.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything like that before.
No. Do we want to add anything else?
I'm good.
Yeah, me too.
Any further thoughts on how, I guess, government bureaucracy and poor choices lead to...
Nah, I mean, they do a good job in this movie, but it is kind of... It's become a pretty standard trope, and especially in horror and sci-fi, where something terrible is happening, and there's like somebody who's, let's just do this, and then the military guy or the head scientist or the government guy or the mayor is just like, well, no, we can't. We don't want to raise a panic or what? This is our tourist season, or I'm in charge and we're going to do it my way. And
I was just thinking of The Blob. We just watched that not too long
ago. The Blob is that's exactly. It's in The Blob. It's in Jaws. It's in
a lot.
Even in like Aliens. Burke is this stooge from the company, and
I was happy when he got killed.
Yeah, there's always you're always going to have that conflict where the people in charge don't know what the hell they're doing, and it's the renegade who is going to save the day. That's a pretty standard trope in genre movies.
I'm going to go around the table and get numbers. I'm going to start with you, G. 1 to 10. What would you say?
9.
Ooh, excellent. Olive?
8.
8.
Yeah, I would probably give this a 9 too.
I too would give it a 9.
This
it
was
is
really,
excellent. This
really
is from
well done.
start to finish. Excellent storytelling, great effects, solid story, great performances. Never dragged.
Yeah.
Just really well done, and I think also the messaging about the social commentary and also even the family drama are just really handled expertly. Hats off to Bong Joon, who is like one of our master storytellers. All right. Again, check out 2006's The Host, not to be mistaken for the Saoirse Ronan one. She also has a movie called The Host.
Yeah, written by
different.
Wasn't that one written by a Twilight lady?
Was it?
Yeah, that was her follow-up to Twilight.
Wow, you know more about that than I do. I see it every once in a while on the telly.
I think. I don't know. I'm pretty sure
On
it
the
was.
telly.
On the telly.
What,
but
are
every
you
time,
British?
no. But every time, wouldn't we get mad? We were like, oh wait, this isn't our host. We're like, what the hell is this?
Every time you'd see the little placard at the bottom of the channel and
it
the
said
host.
The Host.
I'm like,
And
oh
we'd be
really?
like, oh,
And
really? It wasn't our host.
It was like every time I see the word bandits, I'm like, Time Bandits, and then no, it's just some terrible like Billy Bob Thornton movie. So disappointing.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, definitely. Again, we saw it on Showtime Anytime app, but do yourself a favor, check out Bong Joon's 2006 masterclass in storytelling, The Host. And that's it from us, and we will bid you all a
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
good night.